Chapter 43, technology in production. Under production management, technology is really important that we know already to increase the productivity of the organization. One thing that we can use is the increase the technology, like improve the productivity by improving the technology, because technology comes under the method of increasing the capital productivity, right? Not the productivity, right? Capital productivity can be improved by getting more tech, and also even labor productivity also can be improved by technology, because if you give latest technology, like for example, fast computers and devices to use your labors, employees, so their productivity also definitely gonna improve. Because if you work with the slow machines, even the fast workers also they can't produce at faster rate because the machine comes very slow pace. If you produce with a high technology, so always fast and efficient workers, they also get betterment in their productivity. So basically, talk about this driverless tractor, the robot tractor case study there. In this case study, we talk about this driverless tractors will be the future of the agriculture. Why? Because a lot of employees nowadays, the people are not reluctant to actually engage with the farming activities, because of there are so many promising careers are there in the tertiary sector, service industry. So therefore, like a field work, they are very difficult to find the skilled labor in field of farming. Therefore, they produce driverless tractors. One person can handle everything. Or sometimes they have automatically, like they program to do. For example, if we give the area, can be how many hectares or how many acres they have to cultivate. They will do everything. They have sensors. They will program like that. So preparation of land and the harvesting, everything happen automatically. So it's like using artificial intelligence in a agricultural field. This will be the future, because people will use robot to do all farming activities, because food is really important because of human survival. Basic need is food. So that sometimes, because of then people reluctant to work in the field work. So therefore people like scientists develop this kind of a driverless tractors automatically. They will do their job, pre-programmed jobs. They will do all the farming activities automatically. So only thing you have to, there must be some kind of like a person who check these systems, always monitoring these things. Robot will do the specific task. Sometimes they can work 24/7 hours. Only thing you have to maintain the machines, right? So they will do their job, and then at the end, you can get the food and everything. This will be the future, right? So in couple of years, you can see this kind of thing in reality. In a lot of countries, they will use kind of people, because a lot of people. On the other hand, the thing is the population also, right? The world population. Also, like mainly there are trends that happen. The more world population decreasing, right? Basically these pandemics and everything, and also a lot of people, they have found difficulty with the agricultural things, especially developed countries. They moving their life into the other tertiary sectors, leisure industries, service sectors. So therefore deindustrialization, especially agricultural field and the secondary sector, we can see this concept. Therefore this would be the best IH autonomous concept vehicle, and it was presented by the Iowa Farm Progress Show. The tractor is a program, and then the remotely controlled by an operator from the desktop computer or mobile device. So this is the future of the agriculture, right? Technology in production. And also we talk about the impact of new technology of the primary sector. So primary sector, we are using basically different things, especially it can be not only the machines. Sometimes like basically we're using different aspect, like genetically modified, we call GM crops, right? We're using advanced technology. You can see this tractors, mechanical harvester, grain drying machine, automatic feeding systems. We are using in the agricultural field. Therefore it is really important to employ large numbers of workers. And also chemicals and pesticides have also helped to increase the crop quantities, and biological research has developed plants that are less likely to suffer from the diseases. If you have a plant, if you can modify with like a more resistance for pests and viruses, you can see that will be a very good, because most of the farming agricultural the thing, you can see the crops and everything always will be affected by the pest, the diseases and the virus attacks are always there. Therefore if you can genetically modify some crop, they are useful, genes are introduced from different living sources into plants, are beginning of the new impact. GM crops were developed mainly due to reduce the harmful effects of the pest and However, the new generation of GM crops aims to increase the uh, nutritional value of plants, right? Consumers are likely to benefit more directly from this and expand. This may be possible to develop the rice with a large content of iron and vitamins, right? Potatoes with more starch, healthier oil from soybean and canola, and allergen-free nuts. This is the thing that I think this is a new era they're talking. This lesson actually giving some kind of insights for us about how they actually we can plan for the future, right? So our future will be like another decade, another 1 decade, 2 decades. We can see this thing like in reality. A lot of in the field sometimes robots will working because of the immobility and everything, because they will no problems with the labor because there's a fixed labors will be there. That's the thing. That's why we had used the technology in order to replace the labor in those areas, which is we have like a lack of supply in certain areas. That is already happening, I think, in certain fields. So this will be the future. Then we can genetically modify some crops which give more like a vitamins and more nutritional value. That will be very good. But sometimes some people argue that if you're changing the genetical code of the any natural thing, it will be sometimes affected by something cancerous. Sometimes some people believe it is not good. So these all myths, I think, but because of the science and technology, if you can genetically modify it like that for the well-being of the human, I think that is a big achievement. Already, I think some countries like US and China, they already developed like that. For example, so the small area, small land to increase the productivity. They genetically modified some crops with the small, you can quickly grow and get a quick, like a harvest, like sometimes more than like a 3 times of the like a normal one. Because the usual one will be, imagine, let's say it goes about like 1 meter. So this is actually goes like a 3 meters, like a height, and the more 3 times productivity improve like that. Sometimes the growth rate of the plant is higher than the normal one, like that. So scientists are there really good, like agriculture, the people like scientists, they develop. These are the things that we need in this world, because the population, we every day we have to eat. It's our physiological need. Eat, drink, right? Food and shelter is a physiological need. Go to Abraham Maslow. So like that. So basically the basic needs are mentioned, because basically that's why technology we have to use for that thing, right? Not for the warfare, not to actually kill people, not kill each other, like not to develop like a viruses to COVID-19 and all that thing. So we should genetically modify the crops and everything for the well-being of the mankind, right? Not the other way around. So basically that's why scientists must be taken into consideration these facts, right? When you're developing something, do something for the well-being of the mankind. And because I think you can definitely earn more profit of that as well, right? But the thing is, bad this thing happen is right now you can see how people suffer from one these diseases and everything, how people, the economics are suffering, how people are like a lot of innocent people are dying every day because of these mistakes from scientists. So as a result of that, you can see technology must be used. First of all, I have mentioned that thing, technology, please, if in future you are the future generation, right? If you become a scientist, please use your knowledge for the well-being of the mankind, right? Not the other way around. Please make sure you're not doing that mistakes in the future, right? If you're listening to this video, make sure that you are using your knowledge for the well-being of the mankind, right? Not to kill each other, right? So basically technological development in agriculture is the application, right, of drones. So drone technology also recently has developed very good, because you can get some kind of bird's eye view from the drones, like entire field, entire farm, entire estate. You can get some like a drone, and you can see how people are working, how actually the areas you need more attention, where they actually machines are working right now. So it's a drone technology also really good view, where we can get some kind of like a bird's eye view. They can be used to help farmers to with the water and disease management. Yeah, sometimes you can use it for actually like as a sprinkler thing, like spray something by using drones. And like a treatment for the disease management, you call like treatments also for the different plants. We can use drones, and we can go to the nearest to the plant from distance, and we can treat those things. Sometimes some drones have the capacity to send the laser beams to destroy some pests and everything. So that kind of like a high advanced technologies are there in right now. And to develop the better planting strategies, and use the drones can also provide information about the progress of crops, even if different parts of the same field, right? Sometimes they're using those days, like a lot of, before the technology comes, a lot of farmers, they use traditional mechanism, traditional methods of, pest control, right? In Indonesia, they recently use, for example, they traditionally use some method of, because always Indonesia very famous for palm cultivation, the palm oil, the palm seeds, but the main problem for their palm cultivation is the pest. The main pest they identified is the rats and monkeys. The two kinds of animals, they are always damaging the harvest. About 30% of the harvest damaged by rats and monkeys. But when they analyze the damage done by monkeys and damage done by rats, actually the rats actually they do more damage to the tree and also the plants, everything, the harvest, than monkeys. So what they have done, they actually take a new breed of a monkey who actually, like a carnivorous monkey, actually kill rats. So they're using the animal, like, what you call the food cycle. They taken some kind of monkey. It's called they call monkey business. The title of that article was monkey business. That monkey actually, the eating, he actually damages some plants, but the damage is less than the rats. Therefore, they are killing rats. So they're using kind of like a natural connection. Without using other pesticides and everything, they're using natural pest control mechanism. They've taken these monkeys and then they release them into these plants, because they also do some small damages to crop, but that is actually very less than the compared with the damage done by the rats. They kill the rats, so killing rats each. So they basically, this kind of like a traditional techniques also sometimes very successful in some fields, right? But nowadays you're talking about the using especially like chemicals and mainly like genetically modified crops, like very highly resistance on these things. But these kind of natural things also there. Sometimes people like they don't know this, but a lot of farmers in Asian countries, they know a lot of natural strategies to reduce this kind of a pest control thing. And also because they have a really good sensitivity about the environment, especially good farmer, they know what are the time of the year that basically the rain comes, and how they can prepare the land, at what time they should prepare it. Everything they have really good knowledge from experience. But now we can use everything, the climate, everything, we can use the GPS systems, everything we can use. So basically another technological development, drone. And finally the mining industry, you can see the cutting machinery has raised productivity and improved the health and safety workers. In 2016, some new technology was launched in Canada. MindSense Technology Limited has produced a suit called a MindSense solution. The technology is designed to decrease the energy, right? Technology is used to decrease the energy. Yes, the monkey business, I think that's a real word. Yes, Divine, yes, this biological control, that's correct. Yeah, and the water and chemical used in the extraction and analysis materials from the ground. It is believed that the technology will improve the recovery of usable materials by 25%, right? So now that's about primary sector. Now we talk about the impact of new technology in the secondary sector. Secondary sectors, there are so many robots are there. If you talk about the robotics, especially you can see that companies like Toyota, Nissan, especially Japanese companies, Russian companies, American companies, they're using robots in some organization to manufacture something. So robots manufacturing can be divided into three categories. There are three types of robots are there: material handling robots, process operation robots, and assembly line robots, right? So these three key robots you can easily memorize by using some examples. Material handling robots, you can see some especially employed in a transport of goods, parts of stock from one place to another, right? Most often with the same factory or plant. We talk about the Amazon and everything in their warehouse. There are some material handling robots are like that they're using. They can carry some weights about like a 5 kilo, 10 kilos, some more than that. So they are using the material handling. They have sensors. They're using that. They're taking the items here and there. There's a good computer algorithm they created. They are using that material handling. So it's actually efficient and more productive than using a labor, because this is more actually faster than that. So the system, they are material handling robot, especially like warehouses, which has a lot of online operations happen like Amazon, eBay, Alibaba. So these organizations, they are using these material handling robots are really popular. And secondly, a process operation robot. They designed to handle one job. For example, let's say in Toyota, there's a robot called the spray painting robot. Their main job is they designed to do the spray. Entire vehicles, there are robot arms are there, but 4 arms from both right hand and left hand when the vehicle is going, and then the spray painting part they're doing nicely, like a no 100% they guarantee the success. They have injected all that the paint automatically comes a red color vehicle. They have a red color spray paint, and they are doing the spray painting part nicely because they design everything 100%. They guarantee the quality of that thing. So one is like the spray painting robots generally perform a specific task such as spot welding or spray painting, something like that. These robots are fitted with a specialized tool to perform a programmed task. And the other one is the assembly line robot. In the assembly line robot, you can see basically these are performing a single task on assembly line, such as fitting on a cap or on a bottle like that. So this kind of assembly line robot, in the conveyor belt, it's coming. Then every conveyor belt, this robot actually doing some specific task. Sometimes fitting the cap, like kind of a monotonous work, like a repetitive work. Sometimes labels are very difficult to do that kind of thing. Though they're using kind of like a some robot. Their main job is 24 hours. They are doing the fitting the caps to the bottle, right? Like assembly line. There's mainly labels which used in the industries previously. They have replaced by the robots. So what happened then? So machine capital intensive, so not labor intensive anymore. So that's the thing, that the deindustrialization, because the a lot of people become unemployed because of these robots, because they are 100% accurate. So they don't need any breaks or rest. They can work 24 hours, right? So they are very 100% accurate. Quality, you can 100% you can guarantee. So this kind of thing they're performing, sometimes checking, sometimes quality control. They're using sometimes laser beams and everything. Right, so they are very careful and 100% accurate. Check the finished products, part of product faults, and they may use a range of tools such as lens and sometimes scanners. Right, these robots are very expensive, but this is actually being used in some industries, especially like Coca-Cola and some companies like dairy businesses, ice cream manufacturing, chocolate manufacturing, so many. Packaging robots are there, like different lot of industry they are using these three types of robots. All manufacturing robots perform the repetitive, sometimes dangerous work. Especially that was another advantage. For example, so basically, one student asking a question: what is the difference between processing and assembly line robots? Because they both perform one specific task. Yes. The process operation robots mean they have a specific task. They are not working in assembly line. They are working in like a idle, they are working in a separate location is there. That's why they have a specific platform. They have a programmed task. For example, the robots are fitted with the specialized unit, specialized location. For example, let's say Toyota spray painting unit is a separate unit. You have to take the vehicle. Sometimes vehicle will be passing through some kind of like a crane or something to that specific unit. So they fitted to that area and they will do their sprinting and welding operation there. So it's not like assembly, it's not like a process, like a conveyor belt is not there. But here, assembly line robots, it's like assembly line, like it's like sequence, like they fitted into the like a whole operations coming through the assembly line, a conveyor belt. So you also in the part, there are 10, 20, 30 robots can perform different things, right? For example, like the labeling, some automated labeling, and then fitting the cap. So it's everything happen fully automated companies only. We can see this assembly line robots. Everything that is fully the entire assembly line is consists with the robot. That's the main difference between process operation and assembly line. Process operation robots, they have fitted into a specific unit. They are working idle alone. They are working without the cooperation of the other robots. But here assembly line robot, they are like working like a team. There's a teamwork and division of labor they have. For example, every robot have some specialization is there. So they are using division of labor concept here, but here process operation robot, they're working alone. They are doing only one task, but they are not actually, their work is not depending on another robot. They have always designed their program to do only one aspect only. So they are not fitted to another, like a sequence of like a conveyor belt. They are separately located in an idle location, production unit. For example, we can say the color painting booth or something. So then go there. You have to send the product there. So they will do their job and you can take your vehicle. So like that, process operation is like that. It's just a one unit at one time. Specifically, they are doing only one task at one time, but they are not connected to each other. That's the basic difference. Assembly line robot not like that. They are fitted to assembly, like line, like a sequence of lines. So they have specialized, and we can see same division of labor specialization concept we are using here. Right. Okay. Now we are going to another one. That's why main advantage of here constant, and also especially robots you can using for especially dangerous works, dangerous industrial machines, for example, like poisonous chemicals, hazardous materials. Then they are very accurate to perform a constant rate and can operate 24/7 hours. These are the advantage of robots. However, there are disadvantages also. Disadvantages are some staff may lose their jobs because redundancy can happen, and robots can be expensive to introduce, and products may have to be standardized. There are always two sides of us points here. Robotics also we have advantages, right? So many advantages, but there are some disadvantages also, but like redundancy of staff, expensive to adapt. But I think always the advantage outweigh the disadvantages, because this redundancy and everything we can manage smoothly. Like if you want to have a actually reduced number of staff, we can separately, like smoothly, we can have a transitional programs or voluntary retirement scheme or something, or can replace their workers with some other divisions. We can, more possibilities are there. And even the expensiveness of everything, I think they can manage because always large organization, they have financially, they are very superior. Therefore, they can afford this technology as well. Like companies like Toyota, actually, and Amazon, one of the like biggest retail in the world. So having this kind of like a millions worth of robot, it's nothing, right? It's nothing for them. Okay, we're going to other technology method in secondary sector, CAD, computer aided design. Computer aided design, it allows to produce accurate drawings, like especially in the construction industry, to drawings, especially used by architectures and draftsmen, quantity surveys and all. CAD is really important to measure some drawings. You want to make some, let's say, bridge or house, apartment complex or whatever, right? This can be highway project. So you can first of all develop the entire plan by looking at the computer-aided design. So this allows the business to produce accurate drawings and which can be viewed in 3D and altered cheaply and quickly. So designs can be accurately measured and tested on computers for fault, such as unsuitable dimension or components in many cases. So that's why before you do kind of like a start the project, you can build some kind of prototype by using the computer design. So automatically you can see before you construct a house or any project, you can go and see the computer, like a 3D picture. You can see, okay, this is the rooftop, this is the veranda, this is the dining room, like that. You can get some idea while whatever the construction you are going to do, you can get some kind of idea. It's like a building some prototype. And also it removes the need of building models. So a lot of architects, I think the traditional architectures are there, they're building some models by using, takes a lot of time. They're building models and prototype because they can replace by 3D computer generated images. If you actually need to actually make some kind of a model, then computer design this, the 3D module, you can actually send it to the 3D printer, and then you can get some kind of 3D printed like model. But 3D printing is really expensive and very time consuming and also expensive and consume more electricity. But there is options, right? There are 3D printers, and computer design, you can design anything, right? So design anything, like it can be, especially like in the industry, they are mainly using the construction equipments. Sometimes you can use for sometimes for developing some kind of, let's say, biological, right, for equipment like tools. For example, if you want to say 3D printed, for example, like a computer designing, you can use for different industries, not only the constructions. You can use it for basically any drawings. It can be a toy, it can be a model of anything, it can be a vehicle, it can be like a plane, it can be a boat, anything, right? So computer design you can use for anything. So your imagination is always creativity. That's also really important in the construction. And also computer numerically controlled machine, we call this CNC. Basically you should know this main definition. CAD and CNC, computer numerically controlled machines. Machines that carry out instructions fed by the computer, CNCs, especially machines such as cutting machines, milling machines, drilling machines, welding, sewing, printing, right? Especially like printers, like they are working from number of sequence according to measures that we are giving, especially cutting and everything. You have to give the exactly the pinpoint the measures correctly, neatly. That's called computer numerically controlled machines. So we have to give the dimensions, especially drilling, milling, welding, all that thing we should know, because the machine don't know what is our requirement. So we have to tell the requirement, our requirement, we have to feed the requirement to the machine by using numericals. We need some knowledge of mathematics because of that. So irregular shapes cut quickly and accurately. They can cut repetitive tasks without the human error. Especially some industry like garment factories, we can use these cutting machines like that, and also reduce the waste and need for rework. Some CNC machines are instruments and coordinate the measuring machines, CMMs. These can make a simple complex measurements, check the batches and components. They can measure the several variables such as dimensions, weight, and temperature. So especially like, that nowadays, in airports, we have CNC machines like that, like to measure the temperature of the people. Especially they can find out people who have fever. Someone enter into the country with high fever, then definitely we can check the levels of people, like the temperature and everything above, let's say about 27 or about 30. Then we can identify them and we can check them separately. We can do the PCR test and we can recognize them. Like that, these kind of practical uses are there of these things. Another important thing here in technology is a computer-aided manufacturing. We call CAM. So you can talk about the CAD and CNC. Here, computer-aided manufacturing. So computer-aided manufacturing means where computer link and the control design and production of goods manufacturing. Right. Computer manufacturing, if computers are used in both design and production, the two processes can be linked. And this approach is used, the whole production can become automated. This is called computer-aided manufacturing, which may also refer to the use of computer assisted in all production operations, including planning, management, transportation, and storage. Right? CAM speed up the production and minimize the waste. This because of the CAM only use the extract of amount of raw materials needed for less. It's everything like. So computer manufacturing means you are doing everything. And what are the work they are doing? Planning, management, transportation, storage, everything. So everything fully automated. Computer manufacturing means everything. Your A to Z manufacturing process you can monitor automatically. Computer manufacturing, everything, both design and production. That is from the planning process to the production process, you can monitor everything 100%. But you can see only the CAD and everything, CAD numerical control, only the computer design, we use only the designing process, initial planning, right? Computer aided design, we are not using the production, but computer numerical control, we are using the production. But computer manufacturing is a method, two process we can link together. Designing and the production, both we can link. And the last one of this is we call CIM, computer integrated manufacturing. Computer integrated manufacturing involves using the computers for the central. This is like a collaboration of the CAD and CAM. Computer integrated manufacturing formula we can see the use of CAD plus CAM. Right? So it's like the use of computers to control the entire production process. So computer integrated manufacturing involves using computers for the entire production process in a CIM system. Function areas such as design, planning, purchasing, cost accounting, stock control, and distribution are linked through the computer with factory flow functions such as materials management, provide direct control and monitoring all processes. People are only used for supervising, monitoring, and maintenance of work. That's why usually there are only supervisors. Everything fully automated. We can see this kind of things, facilities are in Amazon, especially fully integrated because it's an online business, 100%. So from the customer ordering point to delivery point, 100% they monitored by the computers. There are supervisors and other workers, but it's basically it's handled by stock controlling, right? Everything, email sending, customer email sending, payment procedure, payment gate, confirmations, everything happen fully automatically, right? There are supervisors, but millions of transactions, do you think are managed by people? No, it's managed by computers. Sometimes automatically generated emails are coming, right? Sometimes promotional emails are coming. So everything done by the computer. What happens if you use artificial intelligence there? Right? That's why I think as a businessman, as a business leader, they have to think about the artificial intelligence. Right? These a lot of people are talking about the artificial intelligence, AI, because that's the thing. Because we should give our decision making that headache to these computers because they are designed for that. They can make accurate and always tedious, repetitive nature decisions. We can use AI in education, AI in hospitals, AI in construction, AI in manufacturing, AI in retailing. Every sector we can use. Even government also decision making, e-government concept, right? Then no need to actually pay higher prices, right? The politicians will be very efficient, right? So government organizations will be more efficient than this planning approvals, permissions. You can get. So like that, everything I think the in future will be more like a easy for all of us because the whole purpose of using technology for all of this sector is to make more easier the task and everything functions, make it more easier. That's why like so many software engineers are there, programming people are there, they daily make the codes and programmings in order to make it easier our day-to-day activities. Right. Okay, let's move on to the activity number 1. Case study, robots in production, right? Yeah, Divyan, can you read that case, please?
Yes, robots in production. The use of robots in production is quite common in certain industries, such as motor car production and electronics. However, in the clothing industry, the role of robots has until now mainly had been only cutting. They were not able to sew because soft fabric is very difficult for robots to handle. It requires a great deal of accuracy to feed a piece of soft material to a sewing machine to create a straight joint. Consequently, the job has always been done manually. However, in 2015, an inventor called Jonathan Zornow developed a technique that allowed a robot called Sewbo to sew effectively. It involved using a water-based plastic to coat the fabric that made it stiff, rather like cardboard. Following the application of this coating, robots were able to handle the cloth more easily. Once the Sewbo has completed the sewing task, the coated material is immersed in water and the cloth returns to its normal state.
Yeah, so basically the question asking the basically this is called Sewbo. It's a very important thing. Another material like a robot. You can see actually the real case study. Robots in production. So okay, here we go. Another part is there. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Sewbo can make a shirt in about 30 minutes once the cost of the technology has been met. Sewbo can work continuously for virtually nothing. If the technology becomes established, the textile industry could see some great changes. A large proportion of garment manufacturing is undertaken in places like China, Bangladesh, and Thailand. In much of the industry, workers are treated poorly, then receive relatively low wages. Eliminating the exploitation of these workers would be a positive move. However, the many thousands of people working in the industry might struggle to find alternative employment once the technology is introduced.
Okay, so basically there are 3 questions asking what is the difference between material handling robot and process operation robot. Second, they asking describe the new technology invented by Jonathan in this case. Third question asking discuss the possible disadvantage of introducing the Sewbo in the textile industry. So because of that, because a lot of people, especially Juki machine operators, garment industries are filled with so much of labor. That's why they go into country to country, which finding cheap labor. Like once they were in Sri Lanka, now Sri Lanka to Bangladesh, Bangladesh to Ethiopia, like that. So they are transferring the factories to different production locations because garment factories they need that labor, right? Juki machine operators and these machines are normally handled by some worker, but this Sewbo, actually this organization, this one, they can make a shirt in 30 minutes, right? So imagine the advantage of this thing. But the problem is we have some kind of a doubt whether this production is like it's possible to actually for all designs. Sometimes there are some kind of doubt. Is that more flexible production? Is that like a human? We can actually we have flexibility. We can adapt. We are very creative, right? Designs and everything we know we have but Sewbo sometimes they design to do only just a one task. So we have some kind of problems. A large proportion of garment manufacturing taken place in China, Bangladesh, Thailand, right? They treated poorly sometimes the workers. They call sweatshops sometimes relatively because of the low wages. Eliminating the exploitation of these workers would be a positive move. But the thing is, if this production, if the Sewbo comes into action, then thousands of people who are working in the garment industry will be in a trouble by they are having some kind of problem of redundancy, because if they use the alternative employment, then once the technology is introduced, they have to find another job. That's the thing. So we'll see what the difference between material handling robots and process operation robot. Let's go to the marking scheme. Yes, material handling robots and process operation robots. Robots features largely assembly and production lines. They usually have a mechanical arm that moves according to the instructions, right, given by the computer. However, there are different types of robots in material handling robots, usually employed in transport of goods, right? Parts of stock from one place to another, most often within the same industry, same factory or plant. Automated warehouses are an example for this. In contrast, processing operations robots generally perform a specific task such as spot welding or spray painting. Okay, so that's the difference between material handling robots and the like a spot welding, like process operation robot. Right. Second question: describe the technology invented by Jonathan. Right. In the clothing industry, the role of robot has until now now mainly been only in cutting. Right. Some we are using robotics, especially cutting, like CNC machines. They were not able to sew, right? And because of the soft fabric, is very difficult for robots to handle. That's the thing. That's why we need the human touch, right? It requires a great deal of accuracy to feed a piece of soft material through the sewing machine. That's why different fabrics, different textures are there. So, and create a straight joint. Therefore, consequently, the job has always been done manually. In 2015, an inventor called Jonathan developed a technique that allowed the robot to sew effectively. And as a result of that, what happened? It involved using a water-based plastic to coat the fabric, so which made it stiff rather than like a cardboard. So following the application of this coating robots, were able to handle the cloth more easily. Once the Sewbo has completed the sewing task, the coated material is immersed in water and the cloth turns into a normal state. So it will take some time. Imagine you had to use a water-based technology for that. I think it is more costly, even though there's a concept is there. The concept appealing is not that much attractive for so many industries because it's a water-based technology. So this technology a little bit hard and not practical, because if you have like a bulk of orders like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 t-shirts, right? So to processing like that, I think it's difficult. You have to put everything into water and then take it out and you have to dry it again. So it will take some time, so and very costly. Therefore, we'll see the third question, discuss the possible advantages of introducing Sewbo into textile industry, right? Okay, I invite Liara, can you read the third question, advantages and disadvantages?
Like most new technology, robots have disadvantages when they're introduced into factories. One of the main disadvantages is that workers often have to be laid off. This is usually because robots can do the work of people. Consequently, fewer workers are needed. This is likely to result in redundancies and possible hardship for those laid off. In this case, if the technology becomes established, the textile industry could see some great changes. A large proportion of garment manufacturing takes place in places like China, Bangladesh, and Thailand. In much of the industry, workers are treated poorly and receive relatively low wages. Eliminating the exploitation of these workers would be a positive move. However, the many thousands of people working in the industry might struggle to find alternative employment once the technology is introduced.
Yes, thank you. So basically, in this case study, we can see the advantages and disadvantages. Basically, the organization has some kind of because you have to replace the worker. Worker problem is there, but I think you can manage it. But basically, it will take some time to adapt. In large orders like thousands and 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 orders, sometimes by using this, it will sometimes costly. This technology sometimes Sewbo is sometimes not practical in that kind of a mass production. But if you are producing something like some small batch like 10, 100 t-shirts or something, that is okay, because small batches is fine, but for large items, I think that is not practical. Okay, so the next topic is the impact of new technology in the tertiary sector. right? We have so many advantages are there in tertiary sector. You can see, like in especially financial services, we are using so much of technology. You should better know, like especially ATM machine, automatic teller machines, like we can cash deposit machines are there, ATM machines are there, and also they have electronic fund transfer, we call EFT, POS, POS mean point of sale, right? EFT, electronic fund transfer, especially credit card, debit card payment machines are there. So that's a actually widely used in this technology. Actually, not more. It's not a like a it's a very old technology, but it's very helpful for all of us. Always ATMs, cash deposit machines, and electronic point of sale things. In marketing, also we are using service field, especially IT. We are using for the gathering data, especially database management. Because in marketing, manager always gather the data, process the data, analyze the data, then only that's called market research, primary research, secondary research, right? In marketing activities, we can use information technology, ICT, especially for make our research more easier. And also we are using IT data to gather on data online, and we can convenient to get the more convenient for consumers, and therefore more data is likely to be gathered. In advertising field, another part of a marketing, right? Advertising field also they're using like a web-based marketing, like they're using sometimes pop-up advertisements in advertising technology, especially we're using right now, like viral marketing. You can see advertising we're using, especially websites, social media. It's all about ICT. Moreover, in e-tailing, the retailing section, especially supermarkets and everything, you can see not only supermarket, like always like everything. Sometimes it can be bookshops, it can be like a retailer, it can be small place, like it can be small restaurant. Card payments are accepted. Retail, even hotels, right? Supermarkets, you can see these card payments. EPOS, electronic point of sale, and EFT, POS, well established examples. It save our time because like sometimes such as till receipts, stock details, and customer purchases, EPOS saves time and reduces queues in the checkout. It also improves the stock controls and automatically orders new stock. These advantages are there. So therefore, technology we can use in retail, tertiary sector in many ways. In financial, marketing, advertising, e-tailing. Not only that, I think even education. Right now, we are using the Zoom technology, Google Class technology, so everything. So thank you, Zoom. Thank you, Google. Because of you, we are using our education industry. We are using this technology, right? And also in leisure industry, especially booking facilities, we are using like a air ticket booking, hotel bookings, and price comparison websites are there. For everything, we are using electronic methods. Some we are using our smartphone to everything. We can do everything like to book a flight, book hotels, holidays, theaters, everything. We can purchase everything online. So it's made online, which reduce the administration cost. And also in administration communication, especially like attendance marking. So we have now Google Forms are there, right? Sometimes people for administration, you can even report writing, right? Those days we remember when we are report writing and everything, we had to use a manual system. We had to write the report by using like everyone, but we can now type. We have the Google Drive, and then all the reports are uploaded. So every teacher can anytime they can work. But those days we had to wait to get the report. We had to wait someone else. We had to wait in a queue to obtain the report from someone. But now it's not like that. We can parallelly work. There are so many advantages in administration, communication. We have WhatsApp groups are there to communicate. We have email systems are there. We have so many. The communication makes it more fast and easier. So tertiary sector is really important, right? E-billing system, electronic billing coming, electronic invoice coming, right? And also e-commerce system. E-commerce is there are electronic commerce, buying and selling goods online. You can see Amazon and all the, I think nowadays especially because of the pandemic, the e-commerce has developed tremendously. All supermarkets, they have allowed the e-commerce facilities to buy and sell, basically to especially order online. B2C stands for business to consumer website, business giving chance to consumers. And also there are another version called B2B concept, where business involves another business, like especially wholesaler and retailer concept. There are certain techniques are there, e-tailing. So it's very easy for us, e-commerce, so which make our life more easier, right? You can see the number of estimated online growth in online retails from 2014 to 18, but the most important years are not here. 2019, 20, I think this will be like a way higher than this. I think the trend will be like a double or triple. That's why I can see the Jeff Bezos, right? He's like become the one of the richest person in the world now, second richest person in the world after Elon Musk, like that. So he become that much of rich because of the e-commerce, world's largest retailer. So basically, these are the main cost and benefits of technology. Mainly, the summary of the lesson you should know as a result of, even though primary, even though secondary or tertiary, whatever technology you're using, you can have more choice. You have higher productivity and lower cost, less waste of resources. You can improve your health and safety. Task becomes more easier for workers and also improve the communication. But always there's other side also, answer the evaluation points. Technology, because of technology, has a high setup and purchase cost, expensive. You have to pay the price, and technology breakdown can be expensive because you are depending on technology. Sometimes it can be breakdown, right? We can't 100% guarantee that it's always working. There can be breakdown, then it be expensive. Sometimes job losses may cause the conflict and distress, right? Job losses may cause conflict and distress also, especially for workers' point of view. Technology will be bringing bad results always because they're losing the jobs. Existing staff may need to be retrained. Sometimes, yes, you have to, if new technology comes, you have to retrain, give some training session for them. You have to retrain them to work with the technology. Reduce the motivation for machine workers and loss of flexibility. These are the main disadvantage of using the technology, right? Yeah, and also the last topic and the chapter I'm going to hoping to discuss the balancing, how we can balance the cost and productivity in my next session, right? So with that, I'm going to wind up our today's session. So we'll see in my next session the more important, like a chapter review question. I'm going to discuss about the new technology using case study in the chapter review of Alliance Group. Alliance Group is a very famous group in New Zealand. So this case study I'm going to hope you discuss with my next session, right? So from that, I'm going to wind up session. See you again. Thank you very much.